New images from the Harry Potter series have come out while they were filming, and we probably have the reveal of who Hermione Granger's father is.
Hey Wizards, how's it going? Missed me? Filming for the Harry Potter series is nearly finished, based on the production schedule.
They started filming back in July of last year, and the plan was for filming to finish in the first week of May, which is exactly where we are now. And last Sunday, May 3rd, they filmed what seems to be the last episode of the first season. The filming took place at Waterloo Station in London.
And there's a lot of cool stuff for us to talk about regarding the images that came out. Obviously, they closed off that whole area to film,
But there are always people who go there to take pictures, sell them to newspapers, and so on. The first photo I want to talk about is this one where the actors are on a staircase. And there we have the characters in costume, right?
Molly Weasley, Fred and George, Vernon Dursley, and an unknown gentleman with a cup in his hand. Obviously, they're not filming a scene here, because you can see a crew member in the back, right? He's wearing a safety jacket, you know? Those reflective jackets, headphones, and all that.
But the people in the front are the actors properly in costume. They're probably heading to the scene, taking a break there, getting into position. This image is really cool because it already reveals a lot to us, right? We have Mrs. Weasley in costume, the twins. And notice that even though the twins are wearing jackets similar to the ones they wore when they filmed the King's Cross scene, which came out a while ago, in the scene where they're going to Hogwarts, they're wearing different shirts.
So this is from another moment in the series. It's not them filming an extra scene. Mrs. Weasley is wearing different clothes, only the skirt seems to be the same, but she's wearing different clothes.
And having Walter here at this moment is really cool, because it means we'll have the final scene of the series exactly like it is in the book. Or at least very similar, right? At least the context. Do you remember the end of the first book? They leave the castle, get on the Hogwarts Express, right? This part here is the very end of the book.
And suddenly, their wardrobes were empty, their trunks packed. Neville's toad was found hiding in a corner of the bathroom, and the grades were handed out to all the students, with a warning not to do magic during the holidays.
Hagrid was ready to take them to the fleet of boats that crossed the lake, and in the next moment, they were boarding the Hogwarts Express, talking and laughing. As the fields became greener and more well-kept, they ate every flavor beans. As they passed through the Muggle cities, they changed their wizard robes for jackets and coats, stopping at platform 9 3/4 at King's Cross Station.
It took quite a while for everyone to get off onto the platform.
A very old guard was stationed at the exit and let them pass in groups of 2 or 3, so they wouldn't draw attention by all bursting through a solid wall at once and scaring the Muggles. "You two need to come spend a few days with us," said Ron. "Both of you. I'll send you an owl." "Thanks," said Harry. "I need to have something to look forward to." People were pushing past them as they headed for the exit to the Muggle world. Some shouted, "Bye, Harry. See you around, Potter." "Still famous," commented Ron, smiling at his friend. "Not where I'm going, I can assure you." He, Ron, and Hermione went through the gate together. "Look, Mom, there he is. Look, there he is. Look." It was Ginny Weasley, Ron's little sister, but she wasn't pointing at Ron. "Harry Potter," she shouted in a thin voice. "Look, Mom, I see him. Be quiet, Ginny. It's rude to point."
Mrs. Weasley smiled at them.
"A lot of work this year?" "A lot," replied Harry. "Thank you for the chocolate bars and the sweater, Mrs. Weasley." "Oh, you're welcome, dear." "Are you ready?" It was Uncle Vernon, still with his big red face, still mustached, still looking furious at Harry's audacity for carrying an owl in a cage through a station full of normal people. Behind him were Petunia and Dudley, looking terrified just at the sight of Harry. "You must be Harry's family," said Mrs. Weasley.
"So to speak," replied Uncle Vernon. "Hurry up, boy. We don't have all day." And he walked away.
Harry still took a moment to have one last chat with Ron and Hermione. "See you during the holidays. I hope you have a good vacation," said Hermione, looking hesitantly at Uncle Vernon, surprised that someone could be so unpleasant. "Oh, of course I will," replied Harry. And they were surprised by the smile that spread across his face. "They don't know we can't do magic at home. I'm going to have a lot of fun with Dudley this summer. The scenes they filmed there in Waterloo come from this moment in the book. More images have come out. There's a picture here of Fred and George, and Percy from behind, with the carts there, with the trunks, and way up front, we can see Ron, who's wearing a green shirt, Hermione with a kind of pink blouse, and next to Hermione, on her left side, a boy with black hair, who is probably Harry. And the man in the beige jacket, who was here on the stairs with a cup in his hand, is also up front. You can see his jacket and his pants. This guy is probably Hermione's father, okay? He's Hermione Granger's father, who goes to the station to pick her up, right? Because it makes sense. He has to be there. Hermione is a child. She can't just show up there and leave by herself. And other images have also come out. This first image here shows Harry, right? Dominique McLaughlin, who plays Harry, wearing a protective cover over his costume and sunglasses, right? Actually, this photo is pretty funny. Dominique McLaughlin, he has a lot of charisma. I'm impressed by how charismatic he is without even trying. You know, he's just walking there. And there's Amos Kitson too, right? And some members of the production team there. Amos Kitson is also wearing a protective cover over his costume. Amos Kitson plays Dudley. So you can see that all the images here match what's being described in the book, right? That Dudley was there with Petunia, that he gets surprised when he sees Harry. So there's Dudley, there's Harry, then there's Ron. A photo of Ron with members of the production team as well. You can see his green shirt there, really close now. And then there's another photo where there's a sign, Waterloo Station. You can notice a few things. You can see Walter, you can see Mrs. Weasley, and then, further ahead, you can see one of the twins and Angelina Johnson. Right here, look, next to the sign. There's a bush right in front of the sign, and next to it, a little behind that bush, there's one of the twins and Angelina.
It's cool because the twins, they're teammates with Angelina, right? In Quidditch.
But also Fred, George, and Lee, they all have a crush on her. In fact, Fred goes with her to the Yule Ball, and she marries George, right? Later, in the future events after the book, right? After the last book. So it's cool to see them close here. Maybe already, I don't know, showing that there's this interest. And then there's a wider shot, where there's a red bus and some muggles there. See? With some muggle extras there, leaning against the little wall anyway. Then a really quick video came out from that scene where they're facing away, where they took that picture of them from behind with the carts. Fred, George, Percy. But it's a really quick video. Super shaky, you can't really see much. Nothing beyond what I've already mentioned here, you know? Today, Tuesday, more behind-the-scenes images surfaced, including a photo of Dominique and Arabella walking with the production team. Look at the kid's style, walking with his hand in his pocket. This is probably them getting ready for the scene, right? What caught my attention is that behind them there are 3 people wearing really witchy clothes. Do you see the contrast in the clothing? Next to them, there are 2 people in suits, you know, wearing jackets and all. And look at the contrast in the outfits. This person is wearing purple pants with a long cape, while the other 2 behind are wearing suits. And the 2 ladies are wearing really eye-catching witch outfits, right? And the coolest thing, which came out today, was a really quick 20-second video where we see the outside of the station. Here we have the street, right? And you can see the taxis parked there. The taxis are very characteristic of the 90s, right? Which are obviously rental vehicles for filming.
Then we have the London King's Cross sign there, right? Because the exit is as if they were leaving King's Cross, right? Because it's really impressive how they do it, right? How they make it look real, even though it's a completely different place.
Because they went to film at Waterloo, which is another station. But for the exit, they filmed that exit there as if, in the story, it was King's Cross. In the story, in the series, it's not Waterloo Station, it's King's Cross. But they filmed it at Waterloo. And then, here they are. Look, there's a crowd of people. There are cars lined up. And then, if you look over on the far right, there's a guy with a microphone. See? The guy with the microphone here, really tall. Those microphones that he holds on a boom there. And then, you see there's a red-haired lady. That lady is none other than Molly Weasley. She's there with Ginny, side by side. And then, you see that they're waving. They're waving over there. Mrs. Weasley is waving her hand. Look, and she's going towards them, arms open, most likely towards Ron, who's next to Harry, who's next to Hermione. So, you see, it's matching exactly with what the scene is showing, right? Ginny is waving, pointing at Harry.
In this case, Molly is also waving, right? And then, she opens her arms to hug her son, who's coming home after the school year. Man, he spent a whole year away, right?
That was basically the only video that came out. There was another video of them inside the station, but I'll tell you, you really can't see anything. Here, look. You can't see anything. Nothing at all. They're inside the station. There's just a lot of security there, and that's it. A lot of people wearing those reflective vests. And then people, wearing muggle clothes, really just like extras. The guy over there in a security guard uniform, look, like a police officer. But nothing special. You can't see anything. Really, you can't see anything from here. At least I didn't see anything. The guy in the beige jacket is in the background. That's the video that was released. This guy in the beige jacket, who's probably going to play Hermione's father, his name is John Hopkins. His name is John Hopkins, and even though he hasn't been announced, right, there's no announcement anywhere about John Hopkins. He hasn't been announced in any official HBO media or anything. He's just showing up there. And he's probably Hermione's father. Yes, I was extremely happy to know that this scene of them coming back from Hogwarts will be in the season, Because I admit that I kind of missed that in the movies. Not that I'm trying to criticize the movies or anything. Come on, I've had this channel for years and years. You know how much I love the movies and believe some scenes are even better in them.
But I really felt that the endings of the movies, all the movie endings, are completely different from the endings in the books,
Man, in Prisoner of Azkaban, there's a moment when Walter asks Harry what he's holding, and it was a letter from Sirius. And then Harry says, "Oh, it's a letter from my godfather." Walter is surprised and asks, "You don't have a godfather?" Harry replies, "Oh yes, I do. He's a fugitive murderer, and he likes knowing that when I'm happy, he stays in touch with me." Walter gets terrified. So it's really cool to see. In Order of the Phoenix, too, there's a moment when Alastor Moody reveals the magic eye to Walter there, leaving him terrified. Man, that's really cool. It's going to be really cool if they do it this way, showing those scenes as they really are in the books. So, I was happy with this news.
And these were probably the last outdoor shoots for the Harry Potter series for the first season. They're wrapping up filming now, and there's a short break.
And between August and September, they start filming the second season of the series.
And so, soon we can expect news, updates about the second season, casting, and so on. And these were the images that have come out so far.
I don't believe much more will come out regarding this day of filming they had, because usually, the images are released the very next day. It doesn't take that long to come out. I'm really looking forward to seeing this moment of interaction between Walter and Weasley, since he's kind of rude. That contrast between Molly's love for Ron and the disdain Harry is met with. I'm really looking forward to seeing this scene. That's it. See you next episode of The Leaky Cauldron. Until then, mischief managed.